Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode of Market Check. You might be wondering, things look a little bit different. I'm just looking at one guy. Why is there only Max on the screen? Well, that's a good question. And I don't really have the best answer for you. Um, but I will tell you a little bit. So, Tucker's out of town, Tommy's out of town. Jackus and Will just haven't shown up yet. They have the link. They're supposed to be coming, I think. But hey, we have a start time. The show must go on. So you basically just have me for right now. So I'm kind of between what I want to do here. Do I want to just basically monologue and just stare at you all intently, eye to eye? Or do I want to maybe dive into some charts? We'll probably dive into some charts, guys. Honestly, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot going on right now. But yeah, I can honestly say this is the first time that I've done a market check solo. So I guess we'll see who shows up today. We'll see who show. Yeah, 100 minutes max, I guess. I got this new sparkling electrolyte water with sodium, potassium, and magnesium that I'm drinking. It's kind of nice, actually. It's kind of nice. But yeah, we're gonna do 100 minutes max today. Uh, It's hilarious, man. I always do my 10-minute max videos, and they're like 25 minutes. So, oh, don't you worry, man. I already had my stimmy this morning. Don't you worry about it. I already had a bunch of black coffee. We are looking good. But let's do this, guys. I am going to put my chart up on the screen. All right. And we're gonna do some TA, and I'm just gonna kind of hang out with you, and hopefully somebody else pops in here and we can have a discussion. I have no idea where the rest of the team is at today. But let me just do this real quick because normally while Tommy's giving his introduction, I'm tweeting this out. So I'm just gonna tweet out the YouTube link real quick, and then we're gonna cook, guys. We're gonna have some fun today. It's gonna be a great show, even if it's just me up here. We're gonna have some fun, no question. So let me just tweet this out. But I'm gonna need some help from you guys today. Like, I'm gonna be talking to the audience today. So if you guys have anything that you want to discuss, it's gonna be a very interactive show. If it's just me up here for 60 to 90 minutes, you got to give me some good comments. Talk to me, all right? Let me just tweet this out real quick. All right, and then I'm gonna retweet this from my account. All right. All right, let's roll, guys. Let's roll right now. Like, let's ride. Let's do this thing. All right, so this was actually something I tweeted out yesterday, and I want to just start here. Like, I know you guys probably follow me on Twitter. You probably already saw this, and I can't take all the credit. I can't take all the credit because, oh, look who we got. I thought I was gonna have to go solo the whole day. We're already live, Jackus. We're already 4 minutes in, man. I started without everybody.
Wow, Max Sala show.
Dude, I thought it was gonna be a solo show. I didn't know what was gonna go on. I don't know. I sent the link and no one came, and I was like, all right, well, I guess it's a solo show.
I
But
was
I
just
said we are
picking
just
up
gonna
my
start
Red Bull,
here.
but I can let you absolutely cook solo.
No,
All
no,
right,
you can
see ya,
stay.
guys. See ya.
Yeah, okay, bye, Jackus. Thanks for coming. Um, what is that picture, bro? Is that a monkey?
Yeah, that's the that's probably the ugliest monkey you can find on the internet.
It is pretty ugly, man. I don't know what that is. But
Hopefully, she
anyways,
doesn't get offended though.
no, well, somebody maybe. But guys, this is genuinely where I think we're at. Now, somebody asked me yesterday in our Discord, they're like, "Do you really think that, this goes up to like 375K? Do you really think that Bitcoin's going to go up to, 375K, by the end of this year?" Personally, I don't. Like, I kind of just did this really quickly, and here's the thing. I can take this out of log mode and, we could remove this, right? So we'll take it out of log mode and I could bring this like way down here, right? We could do this. Just a moment. It's not about the price, right? Like, ignore the price. It's more the spirit of the move in which we are looking to capture. Okay. we're not going to go as vertical as we did in 2017. It's very, very unlikely. All right. But throwing it in linear mode, you can see, I mean, how crazy that move was. I just kind of, I threw it on there just so you could see that I'm expecting, significantly higher prices. Um, but I mean, I'm genuinely like I'm expecting this. Like we'll go up wherever we top, there we go. Maybe blow off parabola, and then we go into, some sort of bear market or something like that. I don't know exactly where, but you could capture the spirit of this move, and it would be a little bit more accurate from like a price perspective in linear mode rather than log mode. So if you saw that tweet, don't think it's me calling for like 400K Bitcoin by the end of the year. I hope I'm wrong and it does happen, to be clear.
Hmm.
Like I hope I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong on that. I want nothing but the best, but I also do have what I would consider to be like tamed expectations of what's realistic. And I just don't really think that that's going to happen. So again, if I throw this back in log mode, it would probably look something like this, just to be overwhelmingly clear on it. But yeah, I think that things look really good. And this was a scenario that we talked about pretty much at length. I actually covered this in a video that I just recently made as well, where we were looking for all of these lows here to get tagged on Bitcoin, and we knew that there was a lot of stuff to focus on this coming week. For one, April was a bad month, right? We've been ranging for 2 months. April was a red month. It was the first red month that we've had in the past 7 months. Um, and there's this narrative of like, sell in May, go away, and this is kind of at least in my opinion, this has been a cycle more or less dominated by expectations being front ran a little bit. So I think that sell in May, go away got front ran, and it was actually sell in April, go away. But the scenario that we were looking for was basically just to take out all of these lows, just to
It's gonna be sell in May and cry later, as I keep on saying.
it is. It is. We were looking for, these lows here to get tagged. And I mean, I think this should serve. Like we were looking at this scenario when we were up here, recognizing we're in this range, price looks heavy. We have, April looking bad. Everybody's kind of doomer going into May. And we also have a lot of economic data coming up basically between May 1st and May 3rd. Wednesday we had FOMC. Thursday we had US initial jobless claims, and then Friday today we had US unemployment. So I said to our community, and I think we talked about this as well on stream here at length. I said, how often does the market make it that easy where you can short an aggressive downtrend into a plethora of very important economic data and get away with it? Are you really expecting to be able to short, this aggressive bleed from 67K, down to low 60s and just get some free nuke down to 40, or 50 even? It's typically a fade event. Like you fade whichever direction you're moving into the economic data, and you can speculate on, what Powell said, reading between the lines. What did Powell say? What did he really mean to say? What did he want to say? All that matters is the decision generally, right? There's no need for the Fed to come in and start cutting rates because nothing has broken. We still have sub 4% unemployment. Like I understand we're moving in that direction where people are beginning to maybe lose their jobs, but we're not even close to some doom scenario that would trigger a major recession in my opinion. So when you see, price risk stocks, crypto aggressively bleeding, drawing back into range lows, um, with a backloaded first week of May, what do you expect to have happen here? What do you expect to have happen? Typically, they're used as events to basically draw in liquidity and trap inexperienced market participants. And we saw a lot of people emotionally and, I mean, literally monetarily capitulating into this deviation. We were cool, calm, and collected. That's just how it goes. But anyways, Jackus, I don't need to monologue because you're here. I was in the mindset that I was gonna have to monologue, but I no longer have to do that. Jackus, what are you thinking, man? What are you seeing out
But
there?
we are enjoying you having a monologue because when you let yourself loose, and magic happens and alpha is being shown. Although you shouldn't give it to them too cheaply, Max. Remember, we still have the soybean tool,
Mm.
and we are not afraid to use it.
I'm not afraid to use the soybeans. Nope. And I'm not afraid to use the lean hog futures either, or the cotton candy futures.
Cotton candy.
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, we discussed all of this and it's playing out nicely. I mean, the weekly candle, the way it's shaped up right now on BTC is just pure spectacular. And it is reminding me so much of 39K. Because back then I was also saying like, hey, wait for the weekly close, wait how it looks like. There is lots of days for it still. And if we close above 40K back then, it's probably going to send us higher, And this looks like it's happening once again, the bears. We've seen lots of people that are, bears or under hideout bears that were very vocal, the past days. And in a bull market, that's just not the way to do it, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be repeating myself a lot because, and I do not want to at the same time sound like too much cocky, but it's like playing out as really, really well as we said, So, um, in that regard,
All you
good.
have to say is who could have foreseen,
We could
you
have
know?
foreseen.
You don't have to say I
Yeah.
I saw it. You could just say who could have foreseen. They know. They know. But you had a nice trade. You bought some ETH at like 2,900, a little underneath, right? You were looking at
Yeah.
that level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shared
that's
publicly as well.
yeah, who could have foreseen? So, what I actually find somewhat interesting is that I actually, and I know this is a dangerous game. I know it's a dangerous game to be bullish, be bullish ETH, but I actually think that ETH looks better than Bitcoin, low key. They both look pretty good in my opinion, but I do think that ETH looks pretty damn good here. Wait, which chart is this? I don't like this one. Let's go to Binance. Yeah, here we go. Jeetville. We can remove this. We can remove this for now. Um, so I mean, looking at this structure right here, so zooming out on ETH, right? And I don't know exactly, you could tell me, I don't know exactly what your trigger was, Jackus, like what you were specifically looking for. But I was looking at this right here. This is ETH on the
That's
right.
very nice.
It's
Yeah, I
just such a
haven't seen
clean
that.
range. It's so
Yeah.
clean. And the idea that I mean, look at all of this, right? It's not perfect, right? But I view all of this as like accumulation. Like everything in here was, now in hindsight, accumulation. And then, you break out of this accumulation, which you're in for like, almost 2 years, and you break up like this aggressively, and you come back at perfect range, from range high to range low on the dot. You have your zero point 0.5 fib or your mid range, really, really important level. I was looking at this and I was like, okay, here's the deal. We are in a bull market, in my opinion. We are very much so in a bull market. And I'm not willing to, let's just move this in a little bit. I'm not willing to wager at this point that we, accumulated down here for ETH for, 600 days. And then on the first high time frame retest, retrace, retest, whatever, 2 weeks after a Bitcoin halving, suddenly we're about to enter a new bear market. That doesn't seem very likely to me. And I looked at this, on the local time frames because I bought some ETH at 2,900. I got some
Yeah.
orders filled like right in these wicks. I put that in our Discord as well. Um, and I looked at this, the local structure, and I was like, okay, what do we typically see in a bull market? It's not uncommon for ETH and for Bitcoin to retrace, 20 to 30%. And Ethereum retraced 31% into this high time frame mid range, which was really, really clean, right? Again, from the Pico Schmiko top to the Pico Schmiko low, our point 0.5 fib. And then we were basically kind of like bull flagging, bull chopping into this high time frame mid range, 31% pullback, which is sort of historically what we see. Um, It's typically what we see in a bull market. It's not uncommon to see that. I said, this is a really high probability setup. Like, what am I really expecting? Do I think that ETH is going to go down 50%? That's typically not what happens in a bull market. Is you get like, a 50% correction on ETH. Maybe altcoins, but I don't really view ETH like an altcoin anymore. So what am I expecting? I scooped it here at the 0.5. Jack has got a better fill than me, ever so slightly, of course. But we're probably going to do this. We'll probably come back in and we'll probably do this. And low key looking for, like this, something like this, roughly. It won't be perfect, but I'm expecting this region to hold. I really am. And I think it looks poised for higher. And on top of that, you have the confluence of ETH BTC, in my opinion, looking pretty bottomed, and Bitcoin dominance looking pretty topped. In my opinion, it doesn't really get much better probabilistically than ETH around here at these levels. ETH near 3K, just keeping it as simple as possible. All right, let's even go like ultra high time frame. Let's go to the 2-week. We can remove all these drawings.
Max.
Yeah.
I can't take this anymore. I need the likes to go up. Every day we are checking the like button and it's not where it's supposed to be. Every day, check likes, bad likes.
Bad likes.
We can't take this anymore.
Oh,
we have over-informed everyone by a lot. It is what it is. But we need the likes to go up already. Can the chats in the comment section do something? we wanna share the alpha, but this is not acceptable anymore.
Oh my gosh, bro! There is no second best.
No, seriously, guys. We need your support right now. We do not want to brag about it, but I want to share some alpha myself. You guys know what it means. You guys did an amazing job on Wednesday, I believe. We hit 300 likes on the show, and we had lots of viewers live. That support keeps us going. That support helps us grow. We do not want to keep on repeating that, right? It's unfortunately the incentive structure is very bad. But yeah, guys, smash those to at least 200, and I'm going to jump in with the chart as well and add to what Max was saying right now. By the way, I really enjoyed what you were showing there, Max, with the mid-range of the overall bear market, right?
Yeah.
And the confluence. I have more confluence to add to it, and I am really looking to share it with you guys, but it comes with a very cheap price.
All you have to do is it's $0 to like the stream, guys. It's $0. I know it's Friday. We usually have like a smaller crowd on Friday, so we get that. But we got 215 people watching right now on YouTube. We have probably triple that on Twitter. So if you guys are enjoying the content, please just take one brief moment out of your busy days and hit that like button. It seriously does wonders for the growth of the channel. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you. But please consider taking one moment and liking.
Actually, I'm really tired of repeating this. So I do hope that the guys will keep smashing the like button, but I kind of want to share here, right? Let me just quickly hide the paintings I have on my chart so that we are
you know what I'm a little confused about? Where is Tucker and Tommy on a day that they could be dunking on bears? They should figure it out. All right, pull over, get some Wi-Fi, figure it out. Because
to dunk on bears is what she said.
Yeah. Oh man. Imagine I'm in danger. That's what they're saying right now. Looking at
there was a lot of
waffling
waffling going on the timeline, Will, from Bears, man. There's a lot of waffling going on.
Oh, they're second guessing their lives right now.
So guys,
look at this.
Look at this confluence. We're on the monthly. I'll go down here. Pico Schmiko, we draw a range. We've got our mid range right here. Here I can put the mid range as a different color. We'll put the mid range as blue. All right, just so it doesn't blend in. Pico Schmiko top, Pico Schmiko bottom, 0.5 fib. We also have a monthly imbalance. The first monthly imbalance, basically, look at this deep value right here, guys. This red box, we'll just call this deep value. Okay, this is your accumulation This is
All I
your
heard was good.
good morning. This is your deep value. So we have Pico Schmico top, Pico Schmico bottom, 0.5 fib, mid-range of monthly FVG, and the first high time frame correction after exiting our deep value territory. Let's now zoom in. Look at all of this confluence on ETH right here at this level. The 0.5 fib of your monthly FVG is the midpoint of your monthly FVG. So your mid-range of the Pico Schmico top, the Schmico bottom, is the exact of your monthly imbalance that was set from the breakout of our deep value. What are we talking about here, guys? There is so much confluence. Plus, locally, just something like this. Just something like this, little bull flag action. What are we talking about here, guys?
Yeah,
Like
but Max,
what are we looking at? That's why I scooped so much ETH down here at 2,900. I was like, if there's ever a spot to shove, it's right here. It's
anytime
right
you
here.
go below 3K, you buy. And I think like a lot of people, they're sitting here. I mean, all I could say is I understand it. I understand the mentality. Sometimes you just want to feel something. So you sell at 60K so you can buy back at 62. I get it. It makes sense. But at the end of the day, enjoy being a bear for no reason, for absolutely none.
Yeah. I mean, 100%, man. And here's the thing that I noticed is like everybody up in here was like, oh, I'll buy the dip, and we dip 20 to 30%, like I'll buy ETH, and then they get a 31% dip into like, again, so much confluence here, guys. Like you couldn't really have much more confluence than all of this right here. 600-day reaccumulation, 0.5, mid-range of like the highest of high time frame mid-ranges. Monthly FEG, first high time frame retest, bull flag into this level, and people are bearish. It's shocking to me, bro. It's shocking to me. I can't do it, man. I can't. I won't get bearish when there's this level of confluence. But Jackus, did you have some confluence you wanted to add, brother?
Jackus is making a breakfast burrito.
He's on mute. Yeah, he's probably making a breakfast burrito.
Oh, shit.
There he is. Were you just talking into the muted mic?
Yeah, I learned from Tucker, so I had to try myself.
Tucker always does that, man. It's funny.
He does. And then you're like, but the thing is that you can see him talking on the muted mic. You cannot do that with me, right? But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, I said it comes with a little bit of price, but I also said that I just want to share it because, and I do hope that people just keep on smashing the like button there. I was actually looking for a great meme, which I cannot find right now. Shit, I have so many folders, man. It's crazy. But anyways, we'll have to go without the meme now. So for now, and I'm gonna share the screen, right? So what really interests me on like it was a plethora
and real quick, Jackus, I'm gonna step away for like 3 minutes and then I'll be back. I'm gonna listen, but I'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, you can cook.
But will you see, Max?
I will see. Yeah.
All right. So there was a plethora of things that I was actually, looking at why I would be taking this trade, but just to add to Max Confluence, what I think is next, right, is that this was a great sweep on the daily, and daily, but it was H12 as well, H4, and I've seen this buyback below, and I was thinking like, hey, this is really where this is really where, and I was thinking like, when we are dropping, so around here, I was giving a note to BB members that we will be going deeper, and I was looking for these internal lows to get swept. and then I was looking for some stronger buyback down here. And I was ready to be either going to front run these or maybe even sweep these, which is what essentially happened. But then I needed to see some strength. I was even like prepared, right? If I did not see it right here, I would be looking for the price to go even lower. That could have happened. We could have came back and retested this high, but you never know that, and you have to adapt. You need to have an idea, a plan of what is to come. And I was looking at this range, thinking this was it. This was a strong buyback with the FOMC behind us, or well, like not, when it happened, it wasn't behind us, but like it was the FOMC day. We were dropping a lot into it. And whenever you are dropping or pumping into events such as this, when they unfold, it's usually the vice versa scenario where the price goes. So what I was looking for after we saw the strong buyback was that, and I wouldn't be buying here, right? I wouldn't personally be buying here. That's more for some order flow traders where they can see if strong bids are coming in. I'm not using these, although it would totally probably benefit me, but it's more harder for me to read. But so someone could be entering here, if they are watching the active order book and are able to read from that. But for me, this could have easily even continued lower. And I've seen a strong buyback based on the price that I was looking for and based on the narrative. So I was thinking this is a good probability level to take along. And then, thinking where we should be going from here. And then I'm like anticipating future events that are going to unfold where we are overall structurally right. And you really have to like create the overall context. And what I looked for is I'm looking at the structure, right? And my anticipation was like, hey, if we are bouncing here, right, that means that there is going to be an insane amount of shorts around this area because everyone will be like trying to bet on this, something like in that regard. Those are, and I used to do that in my past. Those are completely wrecked. They'll be doing something like this. Those will get completely wrecked, and then we will go higher to fill this enough. Right. So if we break this, right, where do we go next? So we will go and break this inefficiency, which is right here, inefficient movement, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. We are going to come fill that, and then what's going to be happening? Well, you'll have all those OTE traders, right, that will be trying to short this. Like this is what they are looking for. They will put their fib on, they'll put the OTE, they'll be looking to short. And where is their stop? Well, it's right above here. So my idea right here was that like we are, as Max was pointing out, with lots of those other confluences that we are, minus 31% down in a bull market. We have created plenty of swing lows. The funding was going negative and all of that. So I was thinking, hey, if we are coming and stopping all these people, right, then we need to be going. We need to be going above. We will stop these. That will lead to a cascade of things where we will stop these and these people, right? And then the real next resistance sits around this area. So that's my kind of target where I think we will go, and that obviously will lead to the break of the structure here, because here you had a temporary bear market, right? You had this swing low broken, and here you have a daily confirmed bear market. So market bounces and goes lower one more time, but it's coming within a larger bull market that's unfolding right here. I cannot believe all this information is for free. Why am I even sharing, man?
Yeah, because I have a question for you. So if you drew like a diagonal line across all of the highs right there, you said your target is the gray box. Would you expect it to pull back from that gray box, maybe retest that diagonal trend line and then go higher? Or are you looking to just like take profit and be done?
Yeah, I'm expecting it to go higher, but solely like based on this structure, this is where you would be looking to take profit. But because of the overall higher time frame context, I'm expecting it to go higher. That's why you often see fractals diverge later on, because the fractals are very useful, but only for the next leg, and then you have to apply the fractal to the broader aspect of things. And that's where fractals can diverge a lot. Anyways, what I'm looking for is that this is going to be a violent move higher, and it may, there's lots of ways which you do not know ahead how it's going to exactly unfold. You can get just a quick move here, inefficient, and they'll be completely different versus if you like, going to start doing something like this, then you might gonna get this dip, sweep these lows, and then go higher. Actually, and then you know how it's gonna be, right? You know how it's gonna be. Gonna move here. People will be like, "Oh my God, we are so back," and it's going to pull away. It's so over. And what I'm looking at is again the long was taken with anticipation of all of these. It's like playing chess and thinking 10 moves ahead. And obviously, sometimes you can get a little bit ahead, but then if you miscalculate it, you can create a new plan and think next steps ahead once again. And what I think happens again is that this will lead to the market structure break on the daily, which is going to create a pullback. And if this is broken to the upside, then it's confirmed. And once this move happens, then that leads to the cascade of things above next all-time highs. So this, like, to me, is a great buy. It was one of the most highest probable trades I think is out there. And it came with just insanely negative sentiment. And now look at this, right? Look at this, just so you understand. This was exactly the same that I played in early 2023. And here I was also anticipating. And if you guys remember, I might actually jump on H4 here, but it was the same where, actually, let me put it like this. So the market was right here, but it came, absolutely oversold market with everything. And I was thinking like, and it was again, plethora of things. So I was thinking like, for example, hey, with each of these dip, we never came back and retested the prior swing. Like we left all these gaps, right? Every time we never came back and did a perfect retest, except right here, right? Right here, this was like the first retest. And I was thinking, hey, the trend is weakening. Each time we were front running, suddenly.
You know what it makes me think of, Jack, is like a bouncy ball. Like you bounce it and the first bounce is the most aggressive, and then every bounce is smaller and smaller until it runs out of momentum. That's what that looks like to me.
No, it does make sense. And we know that these patterns happen everywhere in our universe, right? So it's natural that our psychology works in the same way.
Yeah.
And so here I was thinking like, all right, if this was the bottom and we created the higher low, and this was the, and there was, for example, no follow through on the FTX drop. And there was lots of things, just like right now, there's lots of things, you could add the equilibrium of the range, you could add so much stuff why we should be bottoming here. And this is just another one. But right here, I want to jump into it. And so we were, all right, so right here, and this was the most obvious to me. Like this was, I'll always remember this. We came here and we created the equal highs. And at this point, with this formation, I was so sure, even if we bounce lower, we are going to smash through them, right? And that if we do, I was thinking like that it will lead to the cascade of things. Just like here, you'll know some of the bright ones out there already know where I'm getting there. But listen here. So we did pull back. And then when we have, I was thinking like, and I do hope it lets me go in 1 hour. Yes, good. That it probably won't let me go on M15, but actually let me try. It does. Oh, good. So I was thinking, and it was different on futures and on different exchanges, but there was a, from this move higher, there was only one reaccumulation that happened right here. It was on lower time frames, but there was people that were long here. And what I was thinking right here, or like around here, that we will probably, with this equal highs, that we will probably come back, stop these people, right? Because the market makers don't like if the market is moving up and you are long. They want to stop you out, and people are moving, they're trailing stop losses below these lows. So they'll most likely come back and stop these people. At the same time, they will not want anyone to take an easy long. And at this point, I was thinking this is an entry. This is an entry where we will be going, which will lead to multiple things. So first of all, right here was a super bearish sentiment where people were shorting this entire thing, right? So like we had this breakdown, and then people were, thinking like, this box is a short, it's a range high, we are shorting. And then what happened? The exact opposite. Price violently broke through it. So I was thinking, this is everyone's break even. Even people that acknowledged it was wrong short, they will want to get out, and people that want to get long, they'll be looking for this retest. So I was thinking, this move can never get filled. What could have happened is like you could have gotten a deeper pullback slightly, but not more than that. And with that, I was thinking, with these equal highs, I was thinking, so we going to break higher, right? Because these equal highs, they will not hold. They will not hold, not with the structure, not with everything, with the overall context that was coming in. And were we on a downtrend here too? Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah.
And well, and then so this is a great long for the anticipation of the breakout. And now, if that happens, what is going to happen next, right? So people will be looking to short the retest of this level. Some of you guys might remember the tweets back then that I was doing, and they'll be looking to take this short, right? And this is what the market makers see, and they will be, and it's an easy short. It's after a retest of these two already did happen, so it's a failed one, because you essentially have bearish structure, you have reclaimed the range. This close confirmed the trend change, and I was thinking this leads to a cascade of things. So this will lead to people opening shorts. This will lead to market makers stopping them. That means we go above this high, which means it's breaking the structure, because we broke this high and this high, which will essentially, if we do that, that will like lead to, some form of formation here, which will, and I wasn't sure how exactly it's going to play out, of course, but I knew that the trend is going to change. The bottom range will form, and then we will be going higher, which is what happened, of course. But it was really down here that I was anticipating
Not
the
just higher,
cascade.
violently higher. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I was anticipating the cascade of future events to unfold. And that's what I'm anticipating right here, right now on Ether, where you are also getting this, right? Where, you kind of have this, you have the breakdown, right? And you can forget this one, but people were looking to short this. Well, you had the same here, where you swept the range lows, and then people still will be saying this is a bearish retest, and the very early will be looking to short here. The others will be looking to short here, but their stops will be there. And so even like we may totally pull back, but essentially I believe we will break above them, not to mention that there is a gap above it, gap, fair value, gap inefficiency, imbalance, whatever you want to call it, right above it. right? So this is not a healthy one. So the price will be going above it, and at that point, I think it goes here, which once again then breaks the structure right here.
You know what I was thinking, Jackus? I
Yes.
was
No.
thinking, what would it be like to be a bear? And then I realized my IQ is too high for that. And then at that point, I came to the conclusion that the reasoning for that being the case is that because I know when I go back to my prison cell and I look in my room and there's a Snickers on my pillow, that's not a gesture for my fellow inmates, right? That's an invitation. That's what it is. It's an invitation. And if I eat that Snickers, I'm gonna have to pay for that Snickers in one way or another. And so
Will,
I'm not gonna pick
what
up the
are you
Snickers.
talking
All
about, bro?
right, I'm just not gonna pick it up. My IQ is too high for that. So
Oh
at
my
that point, I understand what it's like to be a bear, right? You go in, you see food, you eat food. And so you go in, you see an opportunity to short, you take the short in a bull trend. In a bull trend, like blows my mind. Blows my mind. I wanted to get some real life analogies. That's all. That's all, Max.
Oh, good. I'm shortly done cooking anyway, and I do hope we hit the like button mark we wanted to, by the way. But yeah, this exactly, was going to lead to something like this. And again, I do not know how exactly it's going to unfold here, especially on the lower time frames, but I'm anticipating a break of this one, which breaks the structure. And then essentially, we may or may not get something like this, but yeah, this is something what I'm expecting to unfold, and that will lead to the cascade of things, which will lead to new highs, which will lead to new all-time highs, which will lead to the continuation of the bull market, of the alt, and all of that. So I think this was and I hope that the history proves me, the future proves me right. I know it was already a great buy, as it's showing right here, and it's come along right now. But we'll see about the overall outcome in the end. I think similar scenario actually was right here, which is also was shared live back then. And actually do it like this.
Basically, for those of you who aren't really following along, Jackus is saying shorts are going to pile in once they see the opportunity again. Again, very low IQ play. They're going to end up thinking that they can pull this back down to the low. And then market makers are going to push against them and absolutely destroy them. And it's going to cause the market to continue higher. I mean, Max, you remember at the bottom of the bear, man, like, how did the market start out? It started out through basically just leverage squeezes. It didn't start out through spot buying. It started out through leverage squeezes, and then it moved to spot buying. And I think people tend to forget that. They think because leverage is the biggest play right now, that this thing has no legs and that there's no new participants until you squeeze to a certain
Will,
price range.
Will, all I have to say back to these people is study NVIDIA. Okay.
Bro,
Study NVIDIA.
Nvidia. Oh my! If you ever shorted Nvidia since the end of 2022, you lost all your money, all
Will,
of it.
where
No
did the
shorts made
liquidity
money,
come from to pump NVIDIA like that? I don't understand.
bro. I tell people this every single day. I'm like, look, if you think, oh, no liquidity, no volume, go look at Nvidia, and then come back and tell me. There were plenty of times there was nothing going on there, and it still went higher.
Do you remember? Well, probably not many of you, but if you look at this chart, right, you would say like it was so obvious that the price would be breaking higher from here, right? The cup and handle, all this liquidity above here. And this was like a golden long here down that I was also sharing live on Twitter. But obviously I was starting back then, it was 3 months about when I was active or something like that. So not that big of a reach, but lots of people back then here were super bearish and short. and then this unfolds, right? But it's really not much different from the current pricings. Where
I'm going to give the simple answer here real quick for just one thing, just real fast, Jackus. And that's, so market makers do two things. In a bear market, they will squeeze you to the lows until there's no retail left. In a bull market, they will squeeze this market until retail enters. Retail hasn't entered the game yet in crypto. As much as people think they have, it's been very PvP against the same people. Retail has not entered the game yet, which means we go higher.
I agree with that, Will. You need to reach those extremes on both ends, like you just alluded to. 100%. I agree with you.
So I think we are in a fairly similar level. Well, it's not the same, but like very similar as it was down here, for example, where we just had, this drop lower below these lows. And I'm anticipating that this is going to, later on break out like this, right? So something like that. And that can, once again, it can come like where, oh, no, wrong tool. Where we gonna like come here, right? Maybe we chill, we break higher, we create like, this ceiling, just like here, something similar. And then, maybe we're gonna get like a little squeeze and then break down, right? Just like this one. If I were to go back to H4, right? On this drop, lots of people got bearish again. And this will be like, I think, but I can also think like of a scenario where we go way higher, right? And do something like here and never do this, right? Like we have to go level by level. We essentially do not know. But if something like this comes, like this is a big shove-in spot, all right, and then probably what happens is this. And it's going to go very quick then. And essentially, again, this is a, it's a bull market retrace is what it is. Where you're gonna get this. The same thing is this. People are missing the forest for the trees. So we may argue whether like we spend here, a week more or not, but essentially what I think happens over will be interesting. Like, what would be interesting if right here over this weekend, let me actually delete these. If over this weekend we create a CME gap, so like it goes slightly higher, let's say here,
Mm-hmm.
then we break higher, right? Lots of people get bullish. We create the CME gap right there, and then at some point we're gonna come back, use it as support.
Yeah, that would be
right?
the ideal scenario. If I could paint the picture, I would love to see that. I would love that. That'd be perfect.
Right. This is a CME gap.
Yeah.
This is very close today. Saturday, Sunday, we go higher. Monday, we keep squeezing. Then there is the shakeout again, but with the market structure broken, we fill the CME gap, we make a higher low, So like,
I would love for that scenario because then everybody will get super bared up again. I bet most things form a higher low. They don't look at structure, and they say how it's going to go lower.
yeah. Oh, this is squeezing so nicely, man. I can feel the sounds of bears screaming right now.
It's the
You have
red
to have a
face with the
meme for that.
tears.
You have to have a meme for that, Jack, because I know you have a meme somewhere.
I do.
My favorite one on CT is where the Bears are marching in, and then the next one is the Bears marching right back out as a crowd.
People got so emotional, man. People got so emotional on this
Oh,
drop. And I have a feeling like we're going to go up again. ETH will go to new highs. Bitcoin will go to new highs. And then, ETH will pull back from like 5K down to like, 3,900. And people will be freaking out again, saying it's completely over. Yeah. There's Jackus. That's him.
Man, I swear that the Bears are right now watching this chart and they're like, please, please come back. And they're like, right here. They're like,
bro, they're
double top.
begging.
Oh, no, fuck.
Please be deviation, bro. Please.
Yeah,
I will do anything.
And listen, they opened the short, right? They had it like, oh, I'm safe with the short. Now they're like, the price was moving, and they're, I'm gonna move it slightly higher, right? It's coming, and they're like, okay, it's going to reject.
I'll double down here. I'll double down. I'll take a new. I'll average up.
Yeah,
bro. The average ups are the best because that just causes the squeeze to keep coming. That's all it does. Yeah. When they start adding to like to lessen the blow to try and push price up for them, it's just gonna get worse. It's gonna get much, much worse.
Dude, that last sweep of the low Jackus right there, where you bought and I bought right there, that was such an obvious sign of seller exhaustion that we wicked those lows and just spit right back up. And like the bouncy ball, literally picture it like a bouncing ball,
Yeah.
We just ran out of energy. There was nothing, there was nowhere left to go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. It was done.
But so many
big
people
bounce, then big bounce, and then we try again. Nothing. The bouncy ball ran out of momentum. That's it.
But so many people, Max, can't realize what seller exhaustion looks like, right? And it's always the stair step pattern that creates the seller exhaustion. Once you get through the flush and then you start getting a stair step, you're at seller exhaustion. You got to start dialing in, no matter how low you think it can go.
Dude, I just stepped in front of it. I was like, this is it. I was like, there's too much confluence here. This is clear seller exhaustion.
You know what happened? We set the trap. They took it. They saw that they were victorious.
Guy pulling the horse, the bear pulling with his arm up. He's just like, "Hey, here you go. Look how amazing it is. Come on."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Destroyed.
We gotta show the victory to our people. We finally did it. After all these battles.
After 9 months of calling for the recession every single day, it's finally here. Look at ETH, 2850. Come on in. Here's your trophy. Here's your horse. Boom.
Yeah, it's a perfect meme. That's like really down here.
Bro, I'm gonna literally go on tonight because I can do a little bit of editing. I'm gonna make a film with that, and then the Bulls coming out and killing all the Bears.
You know what this pullback? I mean, not of course, it's kind of obvious. The sentiment reminds me exactly like the last pullback that Bitcoin had when we went from 48 down to, what was it, 38? And the reason, yeah, that one right there. Because I remember everybody for ETH, they were like, "Oh, I'll buy it under 2,000. Under 2,000, I'll buy it." And then it never came. For Bitcoin, everybody and their grandma wanted 32 and 33K. Like everybody wanted that level. And in bull markets, literally the most effective strategy in a bull market. Just remember this. If the most obvious level or crowded level on the chart gets hit, the bull market's over. If you're in a strong uptrend, your most obvious, most desired high time frame levels are going to get front ran. Looking at this Ethereum chart, where's the most obvious level on the chart? Like, where did everybody want? It's that wick right there. That level is going to remain safe. Like, when you're in a strong uptrend, yeah, exactly. You're going to front run your really high demand levels. You could maybe wick into them, for just a second. But typically in a bull market, it's just front run after front run after front run, because that's what true demand is. You never get your perfect retest. But if you start to get your perfect retest, it's not so perfect, because look at this. Jackus, maybe you could go to Bitcoin for just 1 second. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, okay? Look at what happened when we first started the bear market from last cycle. Go back a little bit. Look at that 28K level. Like right there. Yeah, right there. So when we finally dropped down the second time to that level, right before like the real bear markets are to the right. To the right. Right there. Sorry, to the right again. That last drop in June, May or June. To the right. Right there. So that 28K level, well, we stopped initially. Like if you zoom in a little bit more, like go to the daily time frames, like 2 day or 3 day, you can see that we came back and got that perfect, retest of 28. That one went really deep. The chart I have didn't go quite as deep, but you were sitting on top of like the most perfect high time frame horizontal level on the chart. That was like it's over, like you don't get a pullback like that to the most obvious range low on the entire chart, sweep it, and then sit there for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and hold. Like that's not a bull market anymore. So it's just it's kind of a goofy example, right? But point being is like when you're in a really strong trend, you don't get those perfect pullbacks. It just doesn't exist.
Well, everybody thought 30K was going to hold. That's
Yeah,
what they were.
because it was such an
Everybody was screaming
obvious
that.
level.
It was too obvious of a level, and that's
Yeah.
why I told people you're gonna go a lot deeper than that, and that's what brought us down essentially to 50. Imagine here's the thing. Look, I won't blame everybody because some people are just following people, but like imagine being a TA person who knows what you're doing and saying 10K is the only target, right? And there were a lot of people who got trapped in that. A lot of people got trapped in that mindset this cycle that 10K is the only target. We're going to ignore everything else. We're not going to look for stair step patterns. We're not going to look for anything going on in the chart. We're just targeting this place because it has an FVG. Like going off of one indication on anything is the worst possible thing you can do as a TA person. Like you have to look for confluence across the board for all of these things. And I think
Yeah.
not enough people did that. I mean, here's the thing, Max. Remember 25K?
Yeah.
Everybody 22, 20. We got to fill the wick at
Dude,
19.
that was me. I
It,
wanted that because I thought we were still gonna go like retest that. There's a CME gap that was at 22 that I really wanted, just because they don't always fill, but most of them do. And I really wanted that CME gap at 22 to fill. And I caught the short at 29. You guys remember? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not closing this shit. I want that CME gap. I wanted it. And
we
then
were
when it
fighting on the show for
we
like
were.
quite a few
And then
shows.
when it didn't get okay, and then when Bitcoin refused to break down from 25 and go to that CME gap and it wouldn't give me my perfect fill, and then on the same side of that at the same time, Ethereum basically refused to break down below 1500 while I was both short Bitcoin and ETH. I was like, huh, this is a regime shift. I caught the short, but price is refusing to go to my levels. Like we're no longer in like a ranging environment. We're about to begin trending. That's what's happening. When you don't get your perfect fills, you're not in a range anymore. You're shifting from ranging to trending. And I identified that as soon as it refused to give me what I wanted or what I had grown accustomed to in the bear market. And then I flipped like uber long, right there at 27K for Bitcoin, 26K for Bitcoin or whatever. And 1684 for ETH, closed out all my shorts and I've just been super long since. But you have to just like, again, in the simplest of terms, like if you're getting your perfect fills, you're not in a bull market anymore. You're in a ranging environment or a bear market. So
Yeah, and I think too, like because Mr. Smith brought up a good point. 90% of traders fail, but 100% of your team succeeded. No, we've all been wrong at different points. While some of us have been right, and at times we're all right. Like it depends. Like everybody is allowed to kind of have their own thoughts, and we don't always agree, and that's what makes a team. A team is a people that can think for themselves. It's not people that like, oh, okay, well, Max said it. Well, we're all going to agree with it then. Oh, well, Will said it. We're all going to agree with it then. Like, we don't have to agree with each other.
dude, the
It's us
beauty
coming to
of
the
what we
table.
have is that most times we don't all agree. That's the beauty of it. And that's
Yeah,
how it should be.
yeah. I think up here though, like it's so irrefutable that we're in a bull market. Like we're all in confluence, And I think that that's where a lot of people are getting it confused because they think that, oh, you guys are all disagreeing with each other. No, we're just in confluence because the market is telling you, it's screaming to you, you're going
Yeah.
higher. You have all the indications for it.
Dude,
Do you know what's funny is that when we all agree, it's like, why are you all guys so bullish or so bearish? And then if we don't agree, it's like, you, well, all of you guys are saying something different. What should I do? It's like you cannot win.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's especially like the BB Discord community, especially the ones that are in right now, are understanding the way we articulate our stuff, and I like that. That the way they should approach it, the way they should use it, right? They are those that are there now are not looking to just copy trade. They are looking like they are making their own decisions. They are using the data from us. They love that each of us put things in a different perspective, in a different light, from a different angle. And it's really that, you can have the greatest mentor in the world, but he will not be the greatest mentor for someone. And some people simply need to hear it in a different way for someone else, and that's totally okay. That's the great part of having a larger team, right? Um, and I think lots of people are aware of that and are liking it.
The market is simply too big to watch alone.
That's true as well.
I always say this proudly. I'm like the real edge that I have in these markets is that I've put together a team of guys that I know are absolute killers, and we get to just debate markets all day long and share plays with each other. Like that's it. That's your edge, And the edge for everybody listening is they get to basically sit in and listen to our debates all day long, That's how you succeed, is just by having constructive dialogue with guys that actually know what they're doing. But damn, ETH looks fucking good here, guys. ETH looks so good. Look at that thing.
That's
man.
what I was telling people this morning in the BB chat. Remember?
Right now.
The Giga chat. I was telling people in the Giga chat this morning. I was like, ETH is probably your best entry right now. This is probably your best entry.
How does ETH BTC look? Are we holding up okay? I'm scared to look.
BTCD is about to roll. If you go look at it, it's literally about to roll.
I need Bitcoin dominance to nuke, man. I am so ready. I've been waiting for months for this thing to nuke, just watching it slowly. Dude, that's not that. That's a stair step down, man. It's getting ready. Yeah. Send it to Hades, man. Send it to the gulag. It's over. Nuke it.
It's almost like a rising wedge.
Dude, I just can't wait until I wake up one day and Bitcoin dominance is like sub 50%.
Yeah. Sub 40%.
well, we'll start with sub 50, then we'll go to sub 40. One step at a time, right?
Now listen, I could even see a scenario where like we pump here and then, like we get something like this, right?
Oh my gosh. It's over.
Like it could happen. This would have to be probably very quick. Like it would probably have to be something like this. I could still see that.
I don't know if I see that. I don't know. Maybe.
Like I'm not saying it's going to happen. Like I could still see that, right? Like when we get this retest, maybe. Not really think it's going to happen, but still, these buys are just great if it were to happen.
You think a bear is getting their fill? I don't know,
man. Yeah, again, it's a scenario I could possibly see happening, but I will still stand by the fact that this would have to get like quickly bought up. It would have to be something scary that causes it. Like, I don't know, like, something with World War III again or something, and they would use it as an excuse to sweep it lower and then a quick buy. But I still think that like this entire thing is a super great buying opportunity and higher though.
I think the bottom's in, man. I won't be shy about it. I think we could I think we could range here. Like if you were to just draw a range on this little bottom area, like you kind of already have it, but basically right there, range high, range low. Yeah, exactly. I could see that for a bit, but I don't really see us going to like 2,500, 2,600. I don't, barring some, you're right, like a nuke, or something like that. God forbid, something really dramatic. I don't. I have a tough time seeing that, honestly.
Me too.
I mean, if it
Like
happens, it happens.
we just saw such obvious signs of seller exhaustion into that last low that I don't see how we would do that even. I don't know
Yeah,
where the momentum would come from. We'd have to have, like, something really weird would have to happen. That doesn't make a lot of sense right here after what we just saw.
I would see it as bearish, to be honest with you. I'm expecting a higher low from here. Even if we come back and retest, I'm still expecting a higher low.
Jackus, how does DXY look today, man? Has DXY started to roll over at
US
all?
oil and DXY have been rolling since yesterday. I mean,
actually,
bad.
I haven't checked, to be honest, so I do not know.
They're both down from their resistance areas.
Right, we hit 200 likes, so we appreciate that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream of Alpha on Friday, because I definitely think, lots being shared for free here. I don't know why I'm so generous this week. Probably still.
Because you bought the ETH lows, you're very happy.
Anyways, I think I'll hand the chart back to you, Max.
Hold on. Do the DXY. Show the DXY bulls what they're missing out on.
Oof.
Oh, look at that, huh?
Oh,
I remember somebody yesterday talking shit, saying that DXY looks strong. That looked very strong to me.
DXY looks heavy, man. And here's the thing about it too, is like this is a very drawn out complacency shoulder. I'm telling you right now that when we finally distribute down out of this, we are going to nuke, man. It's not going to be a small move. Look at that channel. That's perfect. Wow.
I still think like this move is totally happening sooner or later, and I think this move higher is merely only happening because we are staying higher for longer with the rates. Like we are staying rate pause for longer time than it was articulated at the end of last year. But they said that they are not going to rate hike anymore. And to be fair, like what they say doesn't matter as much, but I see it all around the world that there shouldn't be no rate hikes. And so what's going to happen is only that we're going to get rate cuts. And when that happens, when they are coming, the DXY will start selling again. But in the meantime, sure, we can the current structure is phased to go slightly higher. I'll give you that. But essentially, this is still happening. I think if locally here we were to drop lower, I think this is playing out then, and it totally could.
You'll get a flush. You drop lower.
Yeah, I think if we get below here, then this is totally probably happening. We are still within a range here, right? Like we've been ranging for Jesus 1.5 year here in this sideways period. So
they have to hold that high though, Jackus. If they don't hold that high, they are screwed. I think it's breaking that floor if they don't hold that high. Honestly, I think it's like a rising since you've been basically I think it says September. If you were to take a line from that September low and just run it straight up, you got kind of a rising bottom, higher lows, but you're getting capped at the top, which means you're going to probably teapot drop through. So you're winding up to resistance only to break down.
You mean this low?
Yeah, that low. And you were to trend line that to the next low. Like you're slowly kind of I don't know. So not a channel, but just a trend line, and then a straight line on the tops. So you're kind of, and then if you were to like wind that at that point, you're kind of winding up to break down exactly what you have there. It could take a little longer to play out, but
Yeah.
I don't think it gets to that resistance because you're trying to force it, and you got a lower high here. You got a failed shoulder, a failed swing, in my opinion, that's going to break down. And it's not just here. Pull up U.S. oil; it's the same thing. U.S. oil is literally like it fell off a cliff too.
You know what? Why don't you pick up a chart, Will, and show us?
I don't have a chart in front of me. My bad.
Maybe Max can do that.
But yeah, U.S. oil and dollar are both weak at the moment. I don't know if it has. I'm not even gonna come in and say necessarily it has anything to do with BRICS, because I don't know definitively. But I know that it's weak, right? And then you've got the 2-year. It's basically falling over too. So it came up, hit resistance beautifully, and insta rejected. So there's just a lot of indications that everything's ready to roll over while assets are ready to fly.
Bears are screaming. It's over.
Yeah, like there really isn't anything here, you know. I love that here, right here, we are just getting continuation. It's like the, breakout in Bitcoin in October 2023 when it broke higher.
Up, so sideways, up.
It's like this one, just on lower time frame. You're gonna break higher, and then you just keep getting continuations and higher. That's kind of what it looks like right here. Gonna break higher, and then you just keep going, right? So
I remember one thing that Tommy said, Jackus. I don't know if you remember this, but remember what Tommy said about 62K?
I don't know what you mean.
Max, do you remember? I'm gonna quote him because I'm gonna call him on this. Because he said if we come back and retest 62K, he doesn't think it's gonna stop there.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I agree.
That's what he said. He said that live on the show, and he was bearish.
I mean, bro,
he said if it comes up,
I'm gonna steal the chart.
He doesn't think it's gonna stop.
This is all people need to look at, man. Like, this is just so freaking bullish, man. I don't even know how to comprehend it, man. It's just so bullish. I don't know.
You mean the chart is bearish?
Yeah. Well, it's bullish for us. Yeah. Bullish for our crypto prices. But I just look at this chart and I'm like, what are people expecting here? You know, like this is Bitcoin. Oops. We're lagging. This is Bitcoin right here. Top one is USDTD. Unreal. Just unreal, you know? I'm just expecting USDTD to completely roll over here. Like, I really think it's going to do this. And then it's just going to nuke like this. And then Bitcoin is literally just going to go straight up in a straight bullzuka when that happens. Like, it's going to do this, and it's just going to go straight up like this. Parabola, you know? I don't know why people are not looking at this. It's just TA, you know? It's just TA, it's just structure. So clear. You know, this line right here, guys. I'll make it easier to see. Like, what do we not understand about this structure break? This is so clean right here. like this right here, this supply, my goodness. Look at this. Nuke this thing. Nuke this thing. And if this thing nukes, Bitcoin is going to go straight up. I don't know. It seems really, really clear to me. You know, it just seems really, really clear. Do this. There you go.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sounds of bears screaming.
Like, look at this thing, bro. It is crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. I'll delete Bitcoin. Let's look at this thing. If we were looking at this chart and we flipped it, right? So again, this is USDTD, but it's inverted, okay? If we were looking at this chart right here, and instead of USDTD, this was just like poop coin USD. All right. Again, this is inverted.
10% scalp too, Max. Keep that in mind. You don't have to hit that bottom.
Yeah. Like, this is what we'd be looking at for poop coin USD. We'd be like, oh, this was a very clear range right here. All right. You know, looks like a nice range. We broke out of it. You know, we built demand right under the range high. We've come back. We've retested it now. You know, lower time frame. And here, I'll even invert the colors just so it's accurate. You know, if this was poop coin USD, you'd be looking at this and you'd be like, oh, this is bullish. Like, yeah, oh, this is, you know, this looks great. What I'm going to see here is, you know, we'll probably come up, you know, probably reject maybe, you know, and then we'll break out, retest, and then, you know, just send this thing higher. You know, this is what you'd be looking at, you know, but people are somehow like, what are you expecting that like you type of demand, you know, that gets built under your range high, and you're expecting this to just like do this? What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's not real. That's not real.
From a TA's perspective there, Max, you hit the nail on the head. I would look at that as consolidation below my low, and I'd be like, all right, that is now solid support. That's the way I'd be looking at this right now. I'd be like, we're not going back into that range. We're going up from here.
Like, and where would you be targeting here? I mean, me personally, like if this was
the next
coin
swing
USD
right there,
I'd be look at these equal highs right here, man. Like at least right here, you know, like
that's minimum.
Like this is TP1 is right here, you know, and then TP2 for me would potentially be like this upper region, like this, you know, this supply zone. Again, if this was poop coin USD. And by the way, guys, USDTD literally trades cleaner than Bitcoin and ETH and all your majors. Like just chart USDTD to get your bias for, you know, where everything's going. But I'm just like, what would I be expecting? Like truly, I'm expecting something like this. You know, this is what I'd be looking at. And if you want to get super, super normie with it, you know, where's your target, right? Super, super normie. There you go. The flagpole. I don't do that shit, but you know what I mean. This is it.
Yeah.
TP1, TP2.
He said I don't do that shit.
This chart looks like Galaxy Holdings or Coinbase chart in a way.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear real quick. I'm not at all bashing Tommy. I just want to see if his thoughts remain the same when we have the conversation. That's what I mean by like I'm gonna ask him about it. Just for the audience. I mean, the fact that he came out and said that it says a lot, right? It shows like people that are in this seriously and those who aren't. Because somebody who's bearish who's willing to say, hey, if we get to this level, it may end up, you know, I don't think there's a chance we're coming back. That says a lot because he's giving both scenarios and he's giving confidence on both sides of the play here. And he's giving his invalidations and his validations. And 62K basically sounded like his invalidation of more downside for those wondering.
No. What? Are you guys seeing this? Get my fibs. No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually not hard to chart this stuff if you have information to the left. That's just the reality of it. And I think not enough people understand that.
This is kind of crazy. Just throwing like fib extensions on USDTD inverted, and it works. Let's send it to the 2.618 and look at where the 2.618 is. It's literally right above this critical high right here. Crazy.
So
who could have foreseen, you know? That's wild. I actually wonder if that's going to play. That could low-key be like our generational top right there.
It lines up with all your left side resistances too.
A little too good, you know, a little too good. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I've never done this before, but that's wild confidence.
There is also, if you're gonna connect, if you're gonna go on like weekly, you can connect maybe. Wait, put it on inverted. And you're on log scale, right?
Yeah.
Go to normal one. And if you're gonna connect all the lows from the chart, from the history of times,
like here,
from the history of times, you will realize it's yeah, like that, and it's right now right there. And all trends come to an end, and especially the ones that have distribution at the top. So this downtrend, sorry, this uptrend is going to get broken.
Oh, for sure it is.
Because there is a big difference if in the middle of a trend like this, you have a distributive formation at the top, which you do there with that range that you have shown.
I prefer to connect these in log mode. I think it's a much cleaner trend. Like when I think you should look at both.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, this is, you already had your break of trend. You could maybe draw it even from here. I don't know. Like there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But I would probably look at.
Yeah, as Max Scope is saying, we have people here that are bearish but aren't presenting solid data on why. It's just arbitrary. I want to know why BTC is going to 53K. That's exactly what I was actually asking people yesterday and today, kind of on Twitter, when I was like, what are all these people that are, giving like crazy bearish targets, like saying we're going to go to 40K or something? Like, what? Why? Most of it I see is just like a dream, or like they're gonna post an oscillator that's overbought. But like in a bull market, oscillators can stay overbought for a long time. It doesn't matter anything. And I'm struggling to see the bearish argument that's supported by fact or logic as well.
Here you go. So bullish.
Can you put total 3 next to it?
Next to it? Yeah.
Next to it. No, keep it inverted and put in the same time frame. And one is in, both are in log scale? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
They look similar. Look at that.
And go more to the left on both, like zoom out. Yeah. Exactly. You can see that neither total 3 neither USDT dominance broke that complacency shoulder of March 2022 yet.
Look at that. Look at that. Man. Higher. We go from there though. Whatever. Yeah, man, I'm just really bullish into these levels, man. Like I'm just genuinely very, very bullish. It's just crazy to me that people are
observing this for free. Yes, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And like, bro, look at.
And I mean, it sometimes triggers me a lot, and I'm trying to like be calm. But when people come and complain, like legit, you know, I mean, I will take complaints from someone that's a regular viewer and has a constructive criticism. But so many times you see just jerks come around and be loud, right? But we understand that there is also lots of faithful people that just watch from
That's
the
why
background.
I'm here, Jackus.
That's why we have Will, the audience attacker.
Will's our pit bull at Because Bitcoin, man. He's our enforcer. But look at this chart. Like, what are we talking about here, guys? This total 3. Oh my gosh, man. Let's throw up Bitcoin dominance too. So,
bro,
funny
that was
enough,
like a monster move.
Funny enough, too, look at where the second purple box happened last cycle. It was during this deviation. We just put in a similar deviation. You know? There's your deviation. Right there. Deviation, and then the real bull market begins. Look at this. What are we talking about here? What are we even debating? We're debating people that literally refuse to look at the data. Here's the data. They just wake up one day and they're like, MACD crosses on this random time frame. I'm bearish. And they ignore everything else. Look at this. What are we talking about? Come on now. Look at this. It's the same. It's always the same.
Well, the trick is, Max, and this is I'm really surprised. They have to be new participants. That's the only thing I can think of that makes me think that they don't understand it yet, or they've had their head in the microwave too many times. But like, how many times has, especially through the bear market, how many times has going into the FOMC price going up in the bear market played out for people? I don't think it played out ever. Like if you're going up, you're getting absolutely screwed when the FOMC is over. And through the bull market, it's been vice versa. And that's, you know, how many times has it been prices going down into the FOMC? Yeah. Your anticipation should be a bounce. It should 100% be like, all right, maybe we get a price drop here, but it's going to come right back up again.
And dude, that's what I kept saying to people. I made a video about that on April 30th. It's all there it's right here on our YouTube. And I said, I hate the RR here to the downside, the risk to reward. I said, I don't see how you can short this slow bleed for Bitcoin from 73.5K down to, at the time, Bitcoin was at 61 or 60. I don't see how you could have the luxury of shorting this drawdown for Bitcoin into a backloaded economic data week, including FOMC and jobs numbers, like the Super Bowl of economic data, like the Super Bowl. And price is slow bleeding, not only for crypto, but for stocks. And people feel as though they're going to have the luxury of de-risking into that event and then somehow getting to buy back. Like, clearly being priced in. The worst is clearly being priced in right now. So It's all recorded. I literally said I don't like it here at all. I was like, I think we're gonna go up. I don't like the risk reward at all. Now look what's happening, right? Who could have foreseen? It's just like it's kind of exhausting, honestly, man. Like just like some of the noise and the trolling of like just like some of these people that just come out being super bearish but don't present you with any like actual evidence or an argument, but they're just so loud. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? Like, I'm fine with you being bearish if you have some thesis you want to share, but to like post a random arbitrary momentum oscillator and be like, I'm bearish, you know, good luck, have fun. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Like, are you serious about this game, or are you just here to like talk some shit and try to make people feel emotional? You know,
Bro, like
I don't
you,
understand.
You said it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When people talk to me, they're like, "Will, you're always waffling." I'm like, "You've never been on Twitter, have you?" I'm like, "Because if you think I waffle, go listen to these fucking people on Twitter because they fucking waffle. They literally just make up shit half the time and try to point the dumbest shit."
The Dunning-Krueger effect on Twitter is so real, man. You guys know what Dunning-Krueger is?
Yes, I know very well.
It's so, there's no place that embodies Dunning-Krueger better than crypto Twitter.
Yeah.
No place.
Bro, CT is a freaking it's a circus.
Show it
with a bunch of fucking clowns.
Dunning-Krueger?
Yeah, show it. Explain it to people.
I need to find the picture. I wanna. Here we go.
The funny part is the bears are being orchestrated by the clowns in a circus. Think about that when you're a bear.
Okay.
Who's the bigger clown? The bear or the clown?
I'm trying to find the best one here. Whatever, it's all kind of the same. Okay. They have it labeled as peak of Mount Stupid. That's hilarious. All right, hang on. All right. This is literally Twitter in a nutshell right here. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah, just
Dunning-Krueger effect. Okay. Basically what this means is that this is your like competence, but think of this as like you're a beginner over here on the left and you've spent decades mastering a craft over here. Somebody that knows nothing and is a very beginner, they come in with a bunch of confidence. So low confidence is here, high confidence is here. When you're a beginner and you start to grow quickly on Twitter, you know, and people like tune into you for whatever reason, you gain all this confidence. But in reality, you don't actually know anything. You're super, you know, your confidence is at an all-time high. You think that you're the smartest person in the room. But in reality, you're a beginner and your competence is also basically as low as it possibly can be. And then you sort of wake up and you're like, oh man, you know, all right, I don't know shit, you know, I don't know what I thought I knew. And then you go into the valley of despair. But in that valley of despair, you end up realizing and looking at yourself in the mirror and going, okay, I am acutely aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. Let's learn, right? And then the more time you spend in the market and the more time you spend actually learning and being humbled by the market, you become smarter. And then eventually, you know, years and years later, you reach that same degree of confidence that you had as a beginner, but you actually have the competence to warrant it, right? So when I look at these guys on Twitter, a lot of people, they grow really quickly, or some of them don't even like get big followings. They just like come in as beginners and they think that they know more than guys that have been here you know, for years and years through good conditions and bad and studying and sacrifice, you know, but they always end up humbled, you know, and I feel like we see a lot of that with some of these accounts on Twitter right now is like just an overwhelming amount of confidence, the peak of Mount Stupid as it is drawn right here. And they're about to go into the valley of despair. And whether they decide that they want to stick with it and spend some more time and, you know, eventually climb back up the slope of enlightenment, you know, that's up to them, right? But Dunning-Krueger is literally crypto Twitter in a nutshell, guys.
Like
there is slight difference to the Dunning-Krueger effect, and that's just that the plateau of sustainability never reached the peak of Mount Stupid, because you will never be as confident as Mount Stupid, and I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I just found one online quick. There's a bunch of different.
I know.
Yeah.
The thing is, for me, is like I've been there. That's why, like, when I come in here and talk confidently, it's through experience. It's not like you'd be like, he's cocky. No, I've been through the fucking retard stage. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that last stream, but I've been through the stage of thinking I'm smarter than I am, getting absolutely obliterated on leverage for like thousands. My first account 7,000 blew it. Second account 20,000 blew it because my confidence was too much, and I had to really humble myself. You know, when you burn 100K just trying to learn TA, you learn real quick. I need to be less stupid and be more caring about what I'm doing. And so, like, this is why, like, when other people sit there and try and present stuff, it's like so what I've seen on Twitter is I don't actually see that age where they kind of curate into a better trader. I see that age where they start as trying to be a trader, and then when they realize it's not working for them, they start throwing out wallet addresses and say, hey, send your Solana here and we'll start some shitcoin and I'm going to rug it eventually at some point. And that's going to be my fame to history for all of you.
Well, there's a couple routes to go, right? It's like the amount of sacrifice that it takes to actually like understand what's going on and learn this stuff.
Yeah.
You have to, you seriously have to make sacrifices and commit to it. It's not like something you can do casually, and it's painful in a lot of different ways. You really have to make sacrifices, and you have
Financially
two
too.
options. You can put in that time and make sacrifices and study and learn and equip yourself with skills that last forever and are life-changing if you commit to it, or you can become, sort of like the creature of CT, and just engagement farm and, do paid shills and garbage like that, and there's a place for everybody. Let's put it that way.
People always like think, that they're gonna come here and be gods in a single year. But like, look at the doctors, right? They also spend years and years of studying and practicing and all that.
And they pay for their degree too.
Yeah, and it takes time. It takes lots of patience, pain, and knowledge to learn that skill. And the same thing is here, essentially.
Well,
and I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't come here and thought I'm,
we all
going
did.
to be good.
Everybody did.
Yeah. But
everybody does that.
You'll learn. Everyone will learn, or they will end up. I think maybe one thing you missed on the Dunning-Krueger effect or chart is that so many people leave at the valley of despair.
Most do.
Yeah, most rock.
Well, they do that or they pivot. Remember, and that's put my wallet address in here. I'm gonna take you out of Valhalla. Follow me, retweet me, get me more viral, and I'm gonna rug you on the shitcoin.
Listen, guys, I created a meme coin, but trust me, it's just a meme. It's just a meme.
I don't promise anything. I don't promise anything. The only thing I promise is I have 70% of the supply. That's the only thing I promise.
Man, I legit during the peak frustration I've seen in crypto ever in August, September 2023. I had people that were following me on Twitter, and they legit, and I follow them too, like the bigger CT accounts, and lots of them told me in my DMs to buy their meme coin, which I added to my ticker and I followed it, and nearly every single one of them rugged. But they are still around. They all pretend like nothing happened, and the day still goes on. And then there is lots of us that keep providing lots of knowledge, and people are still like, "Oh, you're a scammer because of one time you didn't predict everything absolutely 100% correctly." And then they go and like the content of these guys that just like be like Bitcoin to 400K.
There's also a lot of like Stockholm syndrome. There's literally Stockholm syndrome where people, they become like enamored with these scammers that just burn them, time and time again. Like, I'm not going to name anybody, but some of these guys, they almost build like cults, like cult followings. and they know that like they're getting preyed on, but they're just like they still remain like loyal and obsessed with their captors. It's crazy.
It's literal brainwashing.
It is, man. It's conditioning, bro. It's sad.
It's conditioning. Yeah. It's like a new cult within a crypto.
Yeah.
Right? Like those are the true cults, the ones that will follow these guys that rug you like 15 times, and you're hoping that you win one time on one of their plays. Then at that point, you get absolutely obliterated over and over and over again because you're hoping you get out of your situation by following somebody who's robbing you time and time again.
Yeah,
guys, I gotta run. So
yeah, let's wrap it up here. Let's wrap it up here, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed the Friday, May 3rd episode of Market Check. Thanks so much for being here. Before you guys go, if you could do us a solid, please like and also subscribe if you are new here. Again, we are live Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern time. We talk charts, price narratives, generally. Have a great time. Now, if you check the first link in the description below, it will take you to our website, becausebitcoin.com/premium, where you can browse and sign up for our premium services. Right now, if you sign up for our Discord, what you can expect is 2 hours a day of private live voice calls with the entire Because Bitcoin team. We share charts, setups, everything, basically fully transparent, things we don't talk about here on YouTube or on Twitter. So again, you get to basically see behind the curtain on what me, Jackus, Will, Tommy, Tucker, Wabi, the entire Because Bitcoin team is doing in these markets. It's absolutely fantastic. It's truly an unparalleled experience, and we are very, very proud to offer it. So check that out. And within the next 30 days, you are going to get free access to our new flagship product called the BB Terminal. All right, it's basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto guys. It's got derivatives data, portfolio tracking, heat maps, Agger. It's literally got everything that you could need to succeed in markets, all bundled into one super website. It's going to be rolled out in phases, but you will get free access included in your Discord membership. So that's coming out within the next month. Beta testing really actually starts next week. So coming up very quickly. We're very proud of how it's going so far, and we're excited for you guys to use it. And again, that will be included in your existing Discord membership for no additional cost. Second link in the description below is to the BB Academy. Guys, we spent 6 months curating this thing to perfection. All right. If you want to expedite your journey in towards understanding how to navigate these markets from a technical and fundamental perspective, me, Jackus, Will, the entire Because Bitcoin team, we put in 6 months of work making videos, basically sifting through all of the junk that's out there. You could spend months, quarters, years learning the wrong things. If you want to expedite your path towards learning the right things and save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money, we bundled it all together toward, basically in one super convenient, affordable package called the BB Academy. That's the second link in the description below. Prices are going to go up soon. So if you want to take advantage of it before prices go up, sooner rather than later. Again, guys, thanks so much for being here. Again, this was Market Check. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.
Sounds of bears screaming.